Boom, 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 boom. Oh boy, man! Oh man! What a game! 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 What is going on, guys? Give me one sec, man. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. Let me know if you guys can hear me when you guys get in here, man. Not yeah, Jack, man. Where do you even start? Damn, everybody is on their head. Woo, man. It was rough. I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Jackson. That was, I mean, from the pick to Taysom Hill. I mean, just the beginning. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much trouble we're in, but Taysom Hill running over everybody in the first. Come on, man. And then J.C. Horn gives up the touchdown because the safety bites down. And I said the secondary is going to be awful. Not a lot of pass rush. I hope it's shattered. I like Dave, but to not play anybody in preseason, I think it's hurting us. We had one drive. We had defense is awful. No, I think the pick comes from we didn't run that play, and you saw Bryce Young. He's not good under center. So Dave gives him one drive in the preseason, expects him to be A-okay. I thought we'd be fine. I was like, okay. He missed Deontay Johnson. No, that was okay. Let's not OD now. But I mean, yeah, there's not a lot of bright spots. I don't know. I thought Raheem did decent, I guess, with all the kick returns he had. I mean, I still think Amir would have been better, but the fumble by Mingo, the holding by Jatavion Sanders. Yeah, you play your starter. You don't play your starters in preseason if like you're like the Chiefs, where you've got Mahomes, you've got Kelsey, you got Rashee Rice coming back year after year. Same thing with the Ravens. Another year with Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, and that tight end likely. The Panthers have a whole new team, and we did one drive, and yeah, I definitely got a little excited over that one drive because I thought we had hope. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I thought we had hope. The O line being trash, I'm not too concerned with that because it's a whole new unit, right? And so it's different assignments, and they're gonna have to go through film and say, okay, if the Will's coming in, weak side linebackers coming in, I want you to do this. Strong side to Sam, I want you to do this. The O line, I'm not too worried yet, to be honest, because they're gonna have to face different looks before they can mesh together. So as far as pass protection, run, well, we could. That's the thing. The run game, it never got going. We were down 17-0, and then we fumble it. So the run game, I don't know yet. I thought Dave had a good plan for Miles, but we'll never know. Next week's the Chargers, and the Chargers, yeesh. Yeah, 47-10 against the Saints. Like 47-10 against the Chiefs, week 12, 13, I would have been fine with, but 47-10 against the Saints. Come on, man. Week 1. Oh, come on, man. That's what sucks. To lose to a division rival 47-10, you can't come back from that. You can't. 47-10 is rough. I mean, yeah, Miles Sanders 5 carries, Chuba 6 carries, Mike Boone 4 carries. Once you go down by that many points, there's no run game, and it's all on Bryce, and the defense can tee off. O-line was decent. Some blown assignments. Bill Bryce had time. The Bryce went back to his old ways too, which we're gonna go moreover once that film comes out. But yeah, Bryce, once he threw that pick, it was over. It was over. Time to get rid of Mingo. I just feel like Mingo isn't giving 100% for whatever reason it is. I like Mingo. I think he's got all the talent in the world, but I don't think he's giving 110%. And I already saw Deontay Johnson getting a little frustrated, which I get, right? First play is overthrown. He already looks frustrated. So we'll see how this locker room does, because this could fall apart very, very quickly. Very quickly. And yeah, the game the game was sad. There's not a lot of bright spots. Honestly, yeah, I mean, XL is probably the bright spot. I guess if you think about it, 4 catches, 35 yards, 7 targets. XL may have been the only bright spot on offense. To be honest, I mean, that might have been the only bright spot on offense. That's bad. That man, 47-10. Bryce Young 13 for 30. 2 picks. Man. Like I said, I don't know how much blame to put around everything yet, because once you go down the way they went down, half the play calls, so like the first 15 plays, you can't run anymore, because now you're trailing where they go down. 30-0 at one point, 17-0, 20-0, 23-0. So Dave's whole philosophy, in which this is what I wish he would have done to start with. He talked about we're going to be a run first. He didn't say run first offense, but he basically implied it. He came out with Bryce Young throwing it, right? Then that's a pick. Then the next drive, he ran it and then had Bryce Young throw it. I don't know why we didn't do that the first drive. Why on the first drive are we doing that? Play action, which Bryce isn't great under center, right? We know that. And that's the first play of the game, not a quick screen, get his feet wet. That's what they say to do to every quarterback. Every quarterback who's nervous or you need to help him relax, do a screen, do a little quick out. Now you got Bryce running the play action, trying to hit Deontay Johnson on the crosser. Now, should Bryce have hit that throw? 1,000 times yes. Bryce should have hit that throw. But again, Bryce's footwork has been a problem, and Dave knows that, right? So I don't know. I don't love the play call by Dave there either on the first play of the game. I'm not making an excuse for Bryce. Bryce screwed the pooch, right? He screwed up. Not making an excuse for him, but I don't love the play call. I run it. You got Chuba. You got Miles Sanders, right? I don't know. Let's look at some of the comments real quick. If we lose again like this next week, the locker room's going to go to. It's going to be bad. Woo! We knew we are still in rebuild mode. O-line solid, running back picking up blocks. Yeah, and this all happened because we went down, 20-0 first quarter, give or take. Let's see. I mean, yeah, 20-0. The D-line knows we're not going to run it. We're going to be passing it, so they can just tee off. It's going to be man-to-man coverage, just like what they did last year. That's how the Saints beat us. Who do we have that's going to get past man-to-man coverage? I think Mingo could, but I don't think Mingo wants to be here. I think Mingo, I hate to say it, but I think Mingo is going to be another case of TMJ. And I like TMJ. I like Mingo, but I don't think they want to be here. Might just be my take, right? But I don't think Mingo wants to be here. I hate to say it, but yeah, when you go down 20-0, start of the game, the D can tee off. You just run man coverage, safety over the top. We're done. Yeah, this doesn't help when we turn the ball over. Bench Bryce. We'll see how he does against the Chargers, because this was a pretty crappy start with the fumble and then just going down that early. Let's see how he does against the Chargers and kind of go from there, I think. I'm not. You guys know I like Bryce. I like Bryce a lot, but I mean, am I opposed to benching him? Maybe that's what he needs, but I'm not going to say anything yet because I felt like when you go down 30-0, there, I don't know. Dave got completely outcoached, which I'm not going to lie and say I didn't expect that in the first game against the Saints. I completely expected that, to be honest. Completely expected him to get outcoached. But I didn't think it would be this bad. And here's what really frustrated me was after the first quarter, that little post-game interview he did. The offense, we face some adversity. No, Dave, you got to light into some people at some point, right? You can't do this whole thing. We faced some adversity, and I thought we did good after that. No. Down, 10, 17-0 to the first quarter? No more Mr. Nice Guy, man, because that's not real. No, I get it. It's for the interview, for TV, so he can't say too much, but I just hope he's not like that on the sideline. Like I like Dave. I like the optimism. But once you go down 17-20-0, it's time to flip the switch. You got to light into somebody or do something. Only one coach could do that. It was Tony Dungy. And even Dungy at times would get a little fired up. But Dave, I like your optimism, I do, but no more of that, dude. XL looked good at least. Yeah, agreed. He was probably the one bright spot. And he wasn't even in to start with. It was Mingo, Thielen, and DJ, which shocked me too because I thought we were going to run a lot of 12 personnel, one running back, two tight ends. And then here we are, Adam Thielen, Mingo, DJ. I'm like, okay, I don't love it, but it is what it is. It only got worse as our defense got gassed. Yeah, 100%. Because you had Mike Jackson, second starting corner, next to JC, and then Troy Hill's the nickelback, and he wasn't great last year. And you just kept putting them out there. I mean, we had interception, punt, fumble, punt, field goal, interception, touchdown, punt, downs, punt. I mean, come on, man. Second drive, 15 yards. Third drive, 8 yards. Fourth drive, 7 yards. Fifth drive, negative. Oh, my. I don't think they got 50 yards on offense those first few drives. Most expensive O-line. We'll see. Yeah. Chiefs have to drop 80. At this rate, I mean, Chiefs may not play their starters, to be honest. Chiefs, they may play the backups. This just not good. I don't see why any player would want to be here. No, I don't either. I mean, the Panthers need a leader. When it's all said and done, there's a lot of talk about Bryce Young not being a vocal leader. I mean, if he's not going to be that MVP quarterback, that Joe Burrow, that Patrick Mahomes, it's all good to me. If he's not going to be that leader, but somebody's got to step up, or we got to bring somebody in who's going to be a leader. Deontay Johnson's not going to be a leader. Adam Thielen, he had a chance last year, not going to be the leader. Maybe XL grows to be the leader. Maybe Country Guy comes to be the leader, Someone's got to be a leader. Otherwise, this locker room is just, I don't know. Why was XL not in the beginning of the game? That's a great question. Even in the depth charts, they didn't have him high, right? They always had him second or third string. And I'm guessing that was because of injuries and the coaches didn't see a lot during training camp and the preseason. But he showed you. He might be the best all-around receiver on the team, right? Adam Thielen's good at routes. Deontay Johnson has good route running. But XL might be the best overall receiver, to be honest. The game was brutal, but I still have hope. I mean, I have hope, but it all comes down to that first 15. That's something I'm really going to harp on in this week's videos, and then pay attention to next week is what's the first 15 going to – what I mean by first 15 is what are the first 15 plays called going to be, right? I didn't love the first play. play action, hit Deontay Johnson on the crosser because there's too many variables for that to happen. Is there going to be pressure off the edge? I mean, it's not going to be consistent. If you put Bryce Young in the spread, a quick out, a drag across the middle, it's going to be the same thing to look for every time. Quick out, rotate to the drag, rotate to the swing route from the running back. I felt like Dave did not make it easy for the offense. Yeah, JC was not happy. But I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be safety help over the top, and he bid on that dig underneath, and then just now there's no excuse for JC getting burnt like burnt toast, but yeah, not good. Not good. I think it's not completely over for Bryce, but I'd be lying. I mean, I'm right there with you. His footwork went back to not opening up those hips again. Just not good. Not good. Young almost looked like he was about to cry on the sideline. But I mean, when you go down 30-0, you got to do something else. You got to do something else. And this is where let's talk about this real quick. This is kind of where I wish Bryce Young would speak. So speaking of Dave's optimism and Bryce Young and his presser, how do I say this in a politically correct way? I just wish they'd cut the crap, if I'm being honest. The whole Dave and this whole positive, optimistic thing, and Bryce Young going up there and saying exactly what needs to be said. I get it. They're trying to be politically correct, but I feel like Bryce Young, if I'm being honest, I felt like he wanted to play preseason. Why wouldn't he? These are new receivers, a new offense. Why wouldn't he want to play preseason? Even if it's not his guys, he knows what to look for. If I'm being honest, I think Bryce Young wanted to play preseason, but yet he played the politically correct role, and not good. Not good. I'm happy. Hey, we still have what, 7-8 more weeks till the trade deadline. That'd be something else if they trade that first round pick away. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do if they. Who knows, right? Who knows? Yeah, it was scary watching this game. And to the Saints, come on, man, the Saints, Derek Carr and the Saints, so bad, so bad. I'll answer this question. If we draft a quarterback next year, who would you? I'm not going to say anything yet because even if we won, I'm not going to get too high on them because there's going to be a lot of people like, okay, it's just 1 week. It's against the same way we're kind of saying the Saints beat us. If we beat the Saints who struggled last year, if we beat them, people will be like, okay, it's just week 1 against the Saints. Just pipe down, right? So we have to keep kind of that same logic, right? Where it's like, okay, it's just week 1. I know it's hard, 47-10. God. If you were to say we're going to lose, I might have said like, okay, get blown out like 35-17 maybe. But 47-10. It's just crazy. Yeah, like I said, the Bryce Young's press conference, I felt like it's Brady in New England versus Brady in Tampa Bay, right? And Bryce Young right now is Brady in New England because of Dave. Dave has to unleash Bryce. He has to unleash Bryce when it's all said and done. Bryce Young is trying to play this politically correct rule, and that's not who he is, right? Quan, go check him out, Panthers channel. He even showed a clip of Bryce Young dropping a few words, which I can't say, white, right? Bryce Young dropping a few words, a few cuss words, just getting hype at the NASCAR thing. Just dropping them, right? And then you get Bryce Young at the press conference. I really don't even watch him anymore. because I know he's going to say exactly what people want to hear. And I get it. He's playing the role. He's a quarterback. I get it. But at some point, give me something, right? And this is what I would like. Something like, okay, I get the coach's decision not to play the starters because of injuries, blah, blah, blah. But I would like to, get some reps with the new offense because Frank's offense, you guys saw that. Frank's offense is completely different than Dave's. I like Dave's offense. I like the play calling. I thought he did a good job with Miles early in the game. It's completely different offense. So to not get any reps in preseason, I just don't agree with it. Yeah, I don't. It's a whole new team. Deontay Johnson, you're going to change Mingo. You're going to change Adam Thielen. You got XL. They kept Jordan Matthews in there. JT played. I don't know. Yeah, Bryce looked bad. But, I mean, when you go down 17-0, 20-0, 30-0, it makes it so easy for the defense because the routes, that's what we have to realize, right? It's not going to be any more mesh, right? Drags underneath, quick outs. It's going to be deeper routes. So the defense knows they can play back, right? And they can let the receivers come to them because it won't be short. So when you go down 20-0, when you go down 30-0, now the DBs can sit there and play it. So now Bryce Young or whatever quarterback is there has to be even more careful than he normally would. So, and you can't run the ball. You're down 23-0, 30-0. Yeah, this is something that stood out right away. No pass rush. And I'm going to have to look at the film and figure out why. Right? Are we not blitzing? But no pass rush from the first drive to the end. There was zero. Even when it was still maintainable, 7-0, 17-0, Derek Carr had all day. Yeah, I was at a family event watching the game. I got clowned. Had the Panthers gear on. Yeah, trust me. I get it. I get it. No, he's not going to do it by himself. And when they run the ball, they're either going to run it from Clowney, run it away from him, or they're going to have a tight end, on Clowney. So basically, tackle's going to chip Clowney, right? Tight end's going to pick him up. Tackle's going to go second level or vice versa. Clowney's the only person I have to watch for. Yeah, I think next week, I'm not giving up hope yet, but next week, we got to watch the first 15. What plays is Dave going to put out there? As long as Bryce Young doesn't throw a pick again within the first two plays, we're going to see what Dave's plan is. So, week one, let's say they beat the Saints. A lot of people would say, pipe down a little bit. Let's not get too hype. We only beat the Saints, but I'm kind of using that same logic right now to not completely give up yet. 2 points. Yeah, and remember, this. I'm not dealing with Bryce, to be honest, and I'm okay with benching him if he plays like crap the next few games. But DJ, you got to remember this. Once you go down 17-0, 20-0, we don't have any more short routes. Dave is going to try and move the ball, which means we're going to have a lot more deeper passing concepts. So no more drags underneath, no more quick outs, which means the defensive backs, they're going to play 7 yards off because they know the receivers are going to have to run that far, right? And if they have to run that far, the DBs can sit on that. So now Bryce has to wait even longer for someone to get open. It's frustrating, but that's what happens when you go down 30-0. I'm a bad man. I mean, I'm not going to argue with this. Bryce Young doesn't have that killer instinct. Part of me thinks he does, but Dave's got to unlock it. Dave has to unlock it. Like I said, this whole politically correct Bryce Young thing, it's got to go. It has to go. Bryce Young has to speak up and say how he feels. Otherwise, he's going to find himself in another situation. And then we're going to find out in a few years when he goes, plays for another team or doesn't. This is what I would have changed. I didn't like this. They were doing this wrong, da-da-da-da. Well, Bryce Young, I hope you're speaking up. I hope you're speaking up. Because if you're not, it's on you. Right? It's essentially on you. I agree with this, but when you go down 17-0, you can't go to the run game. I mean, you probably still could at 17-0, but it's going to be tough. I talked about Miles Sanders in the offseason. Dave is a big spread guy. He's going to get Miles Sanders open. It's going to be similar to an offense they ran in Philly. That's why Rachaad White was so deadly with Tampa Bay last year. We'll see what happens, though, right? We'll see what happens. The D was horrible. I can't put too much on the D. The only thing I can say is a pass rush because, like I said, the offense, listen to these numbers again. This is just crazy. First drive, one play, 0 yards, right? Next drive, 15 yards. Next drive, 8 yards. We're at 23 yards. Next drive, 30 yards or 7 yards to 30. Next drive, -5. So we're back down to 25 yards. And then we had our last drive before half to get a field goal, 45 yards. So we had 100 yards of offense in the first half. That 100 yards of offense. And if you take away that last drive, we had 45 yards. So if you take away that last drive, 45 yards of offense on 6 or 7 drives. Where was Clowney? I'd have to go back and look just because I don't know how much attention was he getting. Iku, I don't like Iku, but he wasn't doing a lot. You got A'Shawn Robinson and Derek Brown. They're supposed to be clogging the run. They're not. We don't really need them. We need them to get back there, but they're supposed to be clogging the run, right? Forcing kind of the double team. And again, when the Saints are by that much, not looking good for Bryce. No, it's not. it's not. No sacks. I don't know who would have got a sack, to be honest. Let's see. Did we get anything? We got 1 sack. Iku did get 1 sack. That was the only sack on the game. So Iku got a sack, but are we that impressed when the Saints had that many drives? I'm not, to be honest. At halftime, I almost was just like, screw it. It is what it is. When Bryce scrambled, he went to his old habits and threw terrible. Yep. He did. He even that first play, right? They run the play action. And it was very similar to the Jordan Matthews thing where he didn't completely drop all the way back, right? Jordan Matthews against the Bills, right? The preseason game. He didn't drop all the way back. It's like he was going to drop back, saw Jordan Matthews open, so he kind of threw it, kind of processing that. If you look at the play action, he's kind of sitting there like this where like his hips are open. Like if you go back and look at it, right? So they run the play action and I watched it a few times trying to figure out what he was trying to do, but he runs it, right? He doesn't ever drop back. He's sitting like this. And I think what happens, now that I say it out loud, what I think happens is he's just kind of anticipating Deontay Johnson being there, right? Because if you watch that play, it doesn't make sense. He runs the play action, but I don't know. It didn't make sense. Sam Darnold. Remember, it's just 1 week, right? It's just 1 week. That first play interception was such a gut punch. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Bryce there. I don't. Start Dalton, look for draft. I don't know. I'll give it a couple more weeks before I jump on that train. I'll get a couple more weeks. That goes about. Oh man. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. I don't know what to say on that one. I don't know. I think Bryce Young might be broken. It's not good when your first play, new coach, and you throw a pick, right? And then next drive you don't do anything, and then Mingo fumbles, and I don't know. Dave said no helmets were thrown, etc. But after Cam and Josh Norman, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They had people who want to win. They had people who weren't going to settle for mediocre crap, right? And I think Mingo doesn't want to be there. I saw Deontay Johnson start to not give a, right? And so who's going to step up? The only guy I think is XL, right? Xavier. But he's a rook. Is the rook going to step up? And then who's going to respect it? I don't know. Deontay Johnson's a guy who just wants to get his stuff and kind of get out of the building, right? He seems like a kind of guy who keeps to himself. Mingo, I don't think he cares. Thielen, Thielen's going to hustle, but he's not trying to, be that guy. He's 30, 33, 34. Bryce Young's not. I don't know what. Icky, Taylor, Robert, Damian. Someone's got to step up. Someone has to step up. Yep, agreed with there. What is my take? Kind of like what I've been saying, where, if we would have beat the Saints week 1, people would have been saying, it's just the Saints. Don't get too ahead of yourself. So I have to take that same kind of account, right, and apply it right here, where it's just week 1, right? I think next week we're going to see Dave running the ball a lot more and then setting up that play. Remember, the whole point, this is probably the most frustrating part now that you asked me this. The whole point of the play action is when you get the defense to bite on the run, right? I wish I had my whiteboard with me. The whole point of the play action is the defense starts to bite on the run, and then bang, you hit them over the top, or you do a deep cross or a shallow cross. That way it's potentially man-to-man coverage, because what's going to happen is they want to stop the run, so they're going to blitz more guys, which is going to set up man-to-man coverage. Perfect. Deontay Johnson one-on-one. He's going to create enough separation on a shallow cross, right? He should be gone once he catches it. But our first play was a play action. Why? Why is the first play? You're supposed to do that after you set up the run. Why draft all these running backs? I mean, they didn't draft all these running backs, but why even draft Brooks then? You got Chuba, you got Miles, you got Raheem. What's the point? Right? So a play action on the first call, I didn't love, right? You're not setting that up. You're setting Bryce up essentially, right? Because on that play action, so many variables are there. You get pressure from the left side, the right side, up the middle. Is Deontay going to get pressed? Right? But if you got Bryce on the spread, he can look around, and let's say we've got a double set, right? So 2 receivers on one side, 2 receivers on the other side. He can say, okay, Adam's being pressed, but Deontay isn't. I'm looking for Deontay here, right? He can kind of progress through his reads pre-snap. Play action, he's probably going to look to Deontay. I think over the top was Adam Thielen, and then try and check it down. It's quick, right? And he can't really process that pre-snap. I mean, he can look, but until he turns around with that play action, he's not going to know for sure what the defense is in. Let me pipe down on that real quick. We're cooked. Week 1, 47-10 isn't good, but gotta try and stay level-headed somehow. The blitz gives them problems. Yeah, the blitz, especially New Orleans. I'm not a fan of the Saints, but they do a good job, right? And they're a physical team. So when you go down against them, it's going to be tough to come back. 1 sack. Oh, we're horrible. Yeah, that's the thing. The defense, it's hard to say. One thing you can say is that there really was no pass rush. Now, was that because we're only blitzing 4 people? We'll see, right? It's too early to speak on the defense because they weren't given a fair hand this week, and that happened all last year. One bad week, what happened to the whole defense? Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know for sure. Maybe. You guys let me know in the comments. I don't know for sure, though. This looks exactly like last season all over again. It almost looks worse, if I'm being honest. Like I said, if we don't have that last drive in the first half, we have 45 yards. 45 yards. Whew. Why is Miles still on this team? I think Miles could actually be a factor. Just trust me on this, because Miles is similar to Rachaad White, who Dave had in Tampa Bay, who was a beast, right? So give Miles a chance or two, even though I don't know what Dave's plan is. Let's see how he does. Bryce looked bad, but we shouldn't give up yet. If he continues being bad, then yeah. I agree with that. Give me one. Let me get some water real quick. I mean, yeah, it's 1 week. Like I said, I don't understand the play action call at all. I don't. You run the play action after you set it up. I didn't understand that. Bryce and Elka Bryce of 2024. I couldn't say it better. Bryce and Elka. Yeah, I mean, that's what they say about habits. When the tough gets going, or whatever that saying is, right? You're going to go back to your old habits. You're back to your old ways. And that's what happened here. Oh, by far. XL looked the best. Not even close. Come on, man. Let's it's 1 week. It's 1 week. Yeah, it sucks week 1. It'd be easier to stay positive if we've lost by, like, I don't know, let's say 20 hypothetically. Even that'd still be bad. There's not a lot to be positive about. That's why it's hard, right? Nothing I saw gave me hope. Nothing I saw. Exciting. Everybody would have been going crazy if Bryce hit him on that deep throw. Yeah, and this, it all goes back to that footwork, I think. It goes back to that footwork. We are cursed. Maybe. Yeah, maybe so. Dave, yeah, maybe. Dave, remember, he only has 1 year of being a play caller. I believe that's what they said. It was in Tampa Bay last year, right? And so this is what's so frustrating is in every interview I've watched, it's all about. He even did the one with, I think, TD or Stewart a couple of days ago, where he's talking about we're going to be a run first team, we're going to be good on special teams, blah 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 blah. Didn't even see it. I disagree about Mingo is fighting for extra yards, but I'm not saying that Mingo's giving up. I just think Mingo doesn't always give 110%. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong on that. What got me was Dave thought we were so good. The starters did. No, so Dave came out in an interview and said this. All right. He basically said if the starters weren't all healthy, he didn't see the point of playing them. Right? Because he wanted to see, and this may have been an ego thing, and I think now that I said I think it was, right? I think he didn't want to put his offense out there without it being whole. He wanted to see it as a whole. That way people could kind of look and praise. If I'm being honest, I think this was an ego thing for Dave. There's no reason Bryce Young couldn't have been out there with part second teamers. Bryce Young needs to run the offense against a 3-4, a nickel, a dime. All these different looks from DBs who don't know what he's going to run. Whether it's second team or not. And if there's pressure, then you just tell him to fall. Right? This whole injury thing I get, but I mean, if there's pressure, fall. If it's not there, throw it away. Yeah, Dave, I think it was an ego thing right there, to be honest. Oh, I hope not. But I mean, first overall pick, who knows, right? I like Bryce. I wanted him to do so good, but he played horrible. Yeah, he did. He did. And that preseason game where I got pretty hype about that first drive. I don't know. Maybe it's because there's no pressure on him, right? And so there's no pressure. Everything's easy if there's no pressure, right? If you're guaranteed the outcome, no matter you win or lose, there's no pressure, right? So with Bryce in the preseason, whether they score a touchdown or not, it doesn't matter because it's only preseason. So I think that helped Bryce relax. First game of the season, he felt the pressure. He felt the pressure, and it showed. I couldn't finish the game. Bryce just looked so lost, even if it's just week one. Week one offense look on. I'm right there with you. Everybody looked lost, though, to be honest. I mean, even Dave looked lost. He didn't know what to call it. Because I don't think he saw the game going 30-0, right, and 30-3 at half. I don't think in Dave's wildest nightmares he saw this happening. There was no running up the middle of the first quarter offensive line. Why no reverses or running to the outside? Because I think they went down. And remember, Dave. So we have to remember this too. Dave is a first or second season play caller, right? So in Tampa Bay, he had K. Dot in the tight end. He had Rashad White. He had Godwin. He had Mike Evans. And they had a good backup running back too. So he had weapons across the board from, your X and your Z receiver. So Chris and Mike to Rashad White to K. Dotton as a tight end plus Baker. Dave had weapons across the board. I think Dave has to realize that we don't have a Mike Evans. We don't really have a Godwin. And that's where it's interesting because I felt like they were going to get a speedster of some sort, but then we have a mirror. So I'm like, okay, they didn't get a speedster because we have a mirror. Then they don't keep a mirror. I'm like, okay, who's going to take the top off? Deontay's quick, but I don't know that he's fast. Who is our Xavier Worthy? Who's our Tyreek Hill? Who's our, Rashid from the Saints? I don't know that we have one, right? So I don't know. Yeah, it looks bad. Bryce ain't it. At this rate, he's not, right? At this rate, Bryce. Somebody's got to unlock that killer Bryce because this just isn't it. Chuba and Miles weren't that good. Not yet. I mean, Chuba, the second drive, 4 yards, then 7 yards, then 3 yards. I mean, the second drive, he did good, about 4 yards average. And then we got to realize this, right? So the second drive, we're down 10-0. He runs a 4, 7, and then a 3. So he's averaging about 3.5, 4 yards. And then we get the ball back on our third drive. We're down 17-0. So remember, the first drive, we're down 7. So we're already down 7-0. Second drive, 10-0. Third drive, it's 17-0. Half your playbook is gone, right? Half the playbook's gone. And then a couple drives later, it's 23-0. Once it's 23-0, there's no more running game, guys. There's just not. I mean, you could get ball back at half, but like I said, Miles had 5, Chuba had 6. That was it. But once you go down 17-20-0, I mean, maybe if you're a patient team, you can try and play the long game with it, but I can't judge Chuba and Miles quite yet. The play calling shocked me because in my last video, I thought we were going to see a lot more empty set and a lot more 12 personnel, 1 tight end, 2 running backs. And it felt like we saw a lot of the 3 receivers. And that was what I least expected. Now, I don't know, guys. I mean, Excel's got to get in there. So they had Adam Thielen. If you guys saw, they had Adam Thielen, Deontay, and Mingo as the 3 receivers, right? So you had Mingo and Deontay as your X and your Z. You had Adam Thielen as a slot. One of those guys has to go for XL. One of them has to go. XL's got to get in there. I think he's going to be a major player, no matter who's quarterback. Yeah, there was no effort. 0 effort. Yes. Agree with you there. Too many overthrown balls, doesn't comfortable in the pocket. Nah, he looks beat mentally. He looks he doesn't look comfortable at all. Passing on Stroud. I mean, it is what it is, right? I told you Bryce doesn't have the arm strength. He has. All right, hang on this. Hang on. As bad as Bryce played, and he played bad, he has the strength. Now, the quick throw, that strength he doesn't have. But as far as the overall arm strength, he's got the overall arm strength. But his footwork is crap. Right? I think overall Dave looks like he's going to be a good play caller, but I hope he gets better because our identity. Yeah, like I said, it's a second season play caller, right? So Mingo stop. I said he's going to be our TMJ. He's going to be our TMJ. Just for those of you who don't believe me, just watch. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. but I don't think I am. It's hard to say. I mean, I think everybody would have played better than Bryce this game, and I think Bryce just right away. He was once you throw if you throw an interception on your first, it's over. It's just over, right? Teams are going to blitz with zero coverage, so they better be ready. That's why XL has to get in there, right? When we have our three receivers, XL has to be a guy. He has to be a guy. He's a big body. He's got speed. In route, out route, he can run those. Get XL the ball. All right, what else we got? Super. Oh Lord, he throws ducks constantly. Oh man. Oh man. All right. Remember when the QB school and all these NFL? How bad he was up until like 3 years ago. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yep. Thanks for reading through all the garbage and chats. You're the man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate it, Sid. Garbage. Yeah. I mean, to sum it up, easy garbage football. And yeah. Dave Canales should have played the starters in the pre. Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, looking back, I think it's an ego thing, right? I just the whole thing of injuries, okay, fine to a point. But all of these guys are new in your system. And so and I don't know for sure how the whole training camp process works when they're practicing. But I'd like to think Dave has an idea of what defense he's going to be versing and what to look for in this, and the third, right? And so he's probably going to tell E, right, double E, he's like, okay, come out in the nickel. I want to see, we're going to run the play action. We're going to look for Deontay over the top. If that's not there, we're going to go to Thielen underneath. I think Dave knows what to look for in the training camp. As far as preseason, he has no idea. And I think that hurts, right? I would have liked to have seen him go against the Jets, go against the Patriots, go against the Bills, especially the Jets. We saw it. We saw highlights in camp, but that's not the same. That's not the same as a game. Yep, that's true, Josh. That is very true. Couldn't rattle Bryce. Yeah, I think Frank did some damage last year, along with what's his name? That's up in Minnesota. I think it's in Minnesota now. The quarterback coach last year. I'm drawing a blank. Josh McCown. Because if you go watch Josh McCown's highlights, that dude, Josh McCown. This is the same thing I complain about Bryce. Josh McCown could literally throw the ball like this 50 yards. Bryce Young, he throws it like this. He's throwing a duck. Josh McCown could do this and throw that thing 50, 55 yards. It was going to be a pick half the time, but he could do it. And I think that was a problem last year was Josh McCown had terrible footwork his whole career. Go look at it. But he had the power to kind of overcompensate for that. So when I think he was working with Bryce Young, it was right. It was okay. I'm not too worried about the footwork. Just, whip that thing out. Yeah, I think Frank and Josh ruined Bryce for now. I'd like to think it'll be better next week. I think Chargers are playing the Raiders today, if I remember right. How is that even looking right now? 7-3. So I mean, Herbert's 12 for 18, 88 yards. And they got J.K. Dobbins. So I mean, if we couldn't tackle Taysom Hill, which that should have been a sign. I'm going to really go watch the film for that. But not being able to tackle Taysom Hill, the 34-year-old running back, Taysom Hill, come on, man. Taysom Hill, we go against J.K. Dobbins next week. Better figure it out. And Gus Edwards, too. I think both of those were former Ravens. Did Bryce have a clean on and off? But remember, the clean pocket, it's hard because once you remember the third drive, so we go pick, right? So Saints scored 7-0. Then I think we punted it. They come down, it's 10 or 10, and then 17. So on our third drive, it's 17-0. At this point, the defensive line is going to just tee off, and then it's 20-0 on the fourth drive. So now they can tee off even more. So did he have a clean pocket? I'd have to go back and look, but it just went. It was all bad. Killer instinct from Bryce. This. Hang on. Killer instinct from Bryce. According to Dave, he didn't want Bryce to be the killer instinct, right? This is what he said all preseason long. I just want Bryce to do his part. He's one of 11 guys. We're going to run the ball, set up the play action. That's going to be our thing. Sounded good, but when your first play is a play action, that tells me that wasn't your plan, right? So I didn't know what happened to Chuba, actually. But after the first quarter, it was 20-0? So they only ran it, guys, between Chuba and Miles. I think they only ran it 9 times. 9 times, I think, was it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Only 9 times. Yeah, so that's the big thing, right? So that's what they knocked CJ Stroud for, too, was he played at Ohio State, so he had all those talented receivers. So how good was he going to be? So, but this goes back to Frank, and this goes back to all. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it goes back to last year. We talked about why would you take Frank as a head coach and then draft Bryce Young? That doesn't make any sense. Frank wants to play under center. He wants that old school type of football. Bryce Young played in the spread at Alabama. They're not the same at all. They're not even remotely the same. But I don't go back down that road. That was should have been done quicker. Yep, slants. Another one. Slants, outs, drag, screens. 100%. Or you get them to bite, you get them to come up, and you go over the top. I felt like right away, that was the thing. So I think Bryce's first 2 passes, I think one was to Deontay Johnson on the cross, and the next one, right, the second drive was run, and then a deep pass to Deontay Johnson. So we're doing 2 medium to deep passes from the rep. Dave, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. They will use a speed demon excuse as to why he didn't do well this year. I don't know that it's an excuse. I don't think he needs a speed demon. I think that's what the Panthers are missing in the offense. If that's what you're coming from, I don't know that that's an excuse. As far as the Panthers just don't have one, and you need one, especially when you verse the Saints, when you verse the Bucks, 2 teams that run a cover 2, right? So there's gonna be 2 safeties, and you want to have that guy in the middle of the slot who can basically take the top off because the linebacker is going to pick him up. And let's say the safeties, one of them rotate over. So the free safety comes from the left side. He picks up the slot. Then bang, we got our guy on the outside one-on-one with the DB over the top, right? So you need a speedster. In this football, in this day and age, you need a speedster. You do. I want to see Andy Dalton take over. Bryce goes goof mode. I'm not opposed to seeing Andy Dalton start week 4, week 5 if Bryce Young doesn't figure it out. A couple of reasons. One, just see what Andy can do, I guess. And 2, maybe it'll light a fire under Bryce. It'll make Bryce kind of think twice, or maybe he'll get frustrated and actually step up to the plate. I agree with this 100%. Yeah. I mean, the speedster, I don't know who they get, though. I don't know who they get. And go back to this real quick. And a speedster is just good because it's going to attract so much attention, right? The safety is going to be always watching him. If you get the safety to kind of take their eyes off a certain part of the field, you got to take that, right? I feel bad for the human Bryce Young. Really, he's just a kid, but he's got to be better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard. So it's 1 week. 47-10 though isn't great, but no, Stroud wouldn't fix it. I mean, the roster as a whole just looks rough, right? And the Panthers it's a whole new front office, right? It's year 1. We're trying to build. Let's see Let's see how it looks in a couple weeks. We gotta see how it looks. Someone said he got a girlfriend. No, we're not even gonna finish. No. Nope. Panthers need a true to go legend like and they traded Christian. Let's not even go down that road. They need a leader. Thielen's just doing his job. I mean, I don't know what else you want from Thielen, to be honest. You need somebody else to step up. And we're gonna have to watch the film, go over that, but they need a leader. When it's all said and done on offense, guys, they got to find a leader. They have to find a leader. Have to find a leader. Mingo and Excel. I don't know about Excel. I think Excel actually wants to play. I really do. We need to play more like the Chiefs, short dinks and dunks, reversals, flipping the ball behind the back. Bryce can be like Mahomes, but his footwork has to improve, right? His footwork has to improve. And even the Chiefs, if you watch them against the Ravens, they went to the red zone, I think, the first 3 or 4 times, and they came away with a field goal. So even they have work to do on offense. The Kansas City Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl champions who have Pacheco in the backfield, still came away with field goals against the Ravens. They've got Worthy, Rashee Rice, Justin Hunter, Travis Kelce. Still got stopped in the red zone 2 or 3 times. It almost cost them. So even with all those weapons, they got stopped, right? So not sold on Bryce. I don't think anybody is yet, to be honest. Saints shut them down. Saints are a physical defense. Bryce, let's give it a little bit. Let's see what else we got. Bryce is it, but he is not good enough to dominate the Saints. I mean, Saints have a complete team. They do. This blowout is good. This will force the Panthers to acknowledge this roster is not close, or it could light on fire. I honestly think we have the talent. I think we have the talent to do something. What is that something? I don't know. It's not like we don't. If you think about it, it's not like we don't have talent, right? You've got Mingo. And I just feel like we're not getting 100%. But anyways, we got Mingo, you got Thielen, you got Excel, you got Deontay Johnson, you got Miles if you use him right, you got Chuba Hubbard, you've got weapons, right? The fact Derek Carr destroyed our defense, yeah, the whole pass rush, that's something we're going to have to look at more in depth later this week because I don't know what happened there. Derek Carr, yeah, just it's not good. Appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it. I hope to God Dave and the entire team learned a lot. What I want to see is a press conference from Dave from Monday to next Sunday. That's what I want to see. That is what I want to see. Don't look upset that he was. I think Andy Dalton wants to play, to be honest. I think he does. To be honest. What else we got? Games are won and lost in the trenches. Yeah, our D line was bad. Taysom, it's not that right. So every guy like Taysom is a difficult guy to tackle, right? Yeah, Taysom, he's a unicorn, right? He's a different breed. It's not that it was difficult. It was that the amount of tackles he kept breaking that first and second, third drive, to be honest. It was just missed tackles. At least hold him up and wait for help. But no, he was just breaking tackles left and right. Maybe I can say that because I'm not out there trying to tackle Taysom Hill, but I mean, it's not like he was getting shifty like Kamara or like a Darren Sproles or even like a Miles Sanders. He was just here's the part about this, brothers. Here's the part about this. He was just running through our guys. When you get ran over, that says a lot about you, right? You're either about it or you're not about it. I'm more of an offensive guy. I'm not trying to tackle. those defensive guys, when you get ran over, it says something. The next play, you got to buck up. And nobody did. Nobody did. Yeah, he's 34 because his motor's nuts, right? 9 rushes. Yeah, this is the thing. 9 rushes. Like I said, there's a lot to take away from this game, but you have to realize half that play call or 3/4 of it went out. If what Dave said was right about the offense, how it's supposed to look, a 12 personnel, sub to play action, run heavy, that means 3/4 of that playbook is probably run. Let's say 60, 65% is probably run, right? Once you go down 20-0, 23-0, you're done. You're done. The playbook's gone. I will say this. I told you guys the secondary was going to get burnt. I said it, right? The secondary is going to get burnt. I really wish Tepper, the money man, would have brought in a free agent cornerback of some sort. Give us some type of hope. Bring in one of these cheaper defensive backs of some sort. You know what? The Falcons went out and signed the top 2 guys, I think. 2 of the top guys. I'll be happy if they go sign a defensive back real quick. I don't know that who's going to want to play here, right? Doesn't help your case when you lose 47-10, but actually it probably gives the defensive backs more leverage. Pimped out possums. They got angry at times. But played. Yeah. 100%. Why didn't say many easy? Yeah, I don't. We'll have to see what Dave says throughout the week to figure out what happened here. Yeah, I mean, everyone, for the most part, has been, Cam Newton. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe Cam can get Bryce kind of riled up, right? I think maybe that's what Bryce needs. Bryce needs somebody to kind of learn from. I don't love Cam coming in, but we got to do something, right? Let's cut through the crap. Bryce is a bust. All right, come on, man. Week 1. Let's give it a couple weeks. Bryce stays. He's a golden boy. That seems fool's gold. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Talking about Speedster. All right, Sid. On this plate, this is the thing that nobody really watched. Yes, Xavier Worthy was fast. But if you go back and you go look at this, the center, Creed Humphrey, who's a beast for the Chiefs, he's going to pull. And I'll have to pull it up sometime this week because everyone's talking about Xavier Worthy. On that jet sweep, Creed Humphrey, he's going to pull right to the right side. He just completely demolishes the guys in front of him. Travis Kelce pancakes 2 guys, right? So you got your Creed Humphrey, he's going to pull like this, right? Travis Kelce, he's going to chip his guy, I believe, and then go down and just knock some dude as well. So, yes, Worthy was fast, but look at the hole. And what's that from? That's from the O-line busting their butt, the center pulling, Travis Kelce just mauling guys. So when you have a complete team, this is what you get. Hey, Shannon, I appreciate it. New YouTube mentor. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. No, I'm not even going to go into this. All right. I feel like we were drafting too much to get the big. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's who we took on defense, that front 7, right? Josie Jewell. He's a playmaker, but he's going to go for that big hit. Clowney, right? That big name. But then I felt like we needed big guys in the secondary. We didn't get that. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with this, Marcus. Because the Chiefs understand how to use Worthy, right? And this goes back to last year when the Panthers brought in Bryce Young. It didn't make any sense. He doesn't fit Frank's offense. Mingo doesn't fit Frank's offense. Xavier Worthy fits the Chiefs offense. That's why everyone was so mad at the Bills. They're like, why would you give the Chiefs Xavier Worthy? That is the missing piece. Ever since Tyreek Hill left, right, they've been trying to replace him. Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney. Oh, Xavier Worthy. Everybody saw that Xavier Worthy. Think about this, T. Everybody knew that if the Chiefs got Xavier Worthy, they were set because he fits Andy Reid's offense. Dave, I'll give Dave credit for this. As of right now, he took Jonathan Brooks because he said he's going to make this a run first offense, and Jonathan Brooks is going to be the workhorse. I don't love it as he's coming off the ACL, but you do have Chuba, which I'm not mad at, right? So if everything goes well, Jonathan Brooks will be the key to this offense. If what Dave has said all preseason long is true. But remember, Xavier Worthy fits the Chiefs. That's why everyone lost their crap when the Bills traded the pick. Oh man, he's got to step up. He's got to step up. Derek Brown's that leader like Shaq Thompson, but they're both defense. Yeah, I mean the defense they have a leader. Remember, the offense needs somebody too. They need somebody in the huddle. I mean, yeah, you know, almost all the Saints true that it gets. Come on, man. This definitely crossed my mind, but there's nothing we can do about it now, right? We can't do anything about it now. We have some talent. They just soft as hell and have it back. Oh man. Yeah, I mean you're not wrong there, Sid. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Mingo and XL will be okay, but after the 2 possessions and game, they just quit. It seems like all the receivers quit except for Adam Thielen. If I'm being completely honest, it seems like we have a team. Never mind. Bryce needs a Greg Olsen. I think Sanders can be this. To be honest, I think he can be. Got to give him some more time. Could Plummer be better than Bryce? I think anybody can be right now. The current Bryce, I don't remember who said it, but they said how Bryce looks lost, and he does. He looks he looks like a different quarterback. Mentally, he does not look confident. Dave, you're gonna see Dave walking in with what, like a little roller and a cane. Yeah, I mean, at this point, somebody's got to snap on Bryce. I need to see the real Bryce. We can scramble and throw the ball. I'm guessing this was Dave's decision, right? Bryce is a bust. That performance made me want to fight. Panther Plug. What's going on, my guy? Go check out Panther Plug. Subscribe to him. New YouTuber. I like his vibe. This was on everyone involved. Can't really put this on just one player in position, to be honest. Michael Jackson was our best. Yeah, Mike was tested. Mike was tested a lot. And it's just like the run game. They're going to run away from Clowney and they're going to throw away from Horn. And Mike did pretty good first game with the Panthers. But go check out Panther Plex. Subscribe to him. I like his content. Run first offense. Nah, I mean, remember QCB, that's the first drive, pick. Second drive, 2 plays, deep pass, punt. Third drive, we're down 17-0. So we're not going to be able to run the ball. Yeah, I like the run first. Opens up exactly. And yet we came out the game running a play. Boy, I don't understand. I would love to sit down with Dave and ask him what he was thinking. I'm disappointed. You and me both. That whole team can improve, but it won't help because it be. Come on, man. Steve Smith has been coaching Mingo. Yeah, but Sid, at this point, I feel like you either have it or you don't. I do. Unless you're like that Kurt Warner type, that that receiver who played for Dallas. Pretty sure his last name was Austin. What was his name? He had a few good. I think he even dated like Kim Kardashian or The Simpson or something. Where I'm going, can't think of his name though. Is unless you have to grind to make it, I don't know that you're going to change your ways, right? It's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And so with Mingo, he's a first or second round pick, I think, right? If I remember right. I don't think he's going to get. Because he doesn't have to grind to make it anymore. Mingo he's made it. And I think I think Steve Smith, right? You can't undercredit that. That passion, that fight he has, you either have it or you don't, right? It's that Ray Lewis type. I don't know anybody on the Panthers that has it, to be honest. That Cam Newton type, right? Cam Newton, he was a savage. He was a quarterback that wanted to hit somebody. He wanted vengeance. We don't have anybody like that on offense. We don't. Chuba likes to hit, right? Chuba's a physical back, but as far as a receiver and a run, we don't have it. Yeah, I think Steve just likes Mingo, and I get it. Sometimes you let things, kind of cloud your thoughts. He's gonna be, you know what he's gonna be in, right? He's gonna be in that Grave for Men, right? He's gonna be in that commercial here soon. At this point, Dave's plan for quarterbacks: if you don't see a pass after first two looks, scramble, look for a short pass. Apparently, and what I'm shocked by Dave is he keeps bringing in like all these kind of pocket passing type of quarterbacks, right? All these guys, whether it was Luton, Plummer, he just brought in somebody else too. A little bit confused by that. First pick, pass pick of the day. Thank you. Somebody has said it. I didn't want to say anything until somebody said it. All I'm going to say is this. Newton, double N. I'm going to call you double N. Just watch Deontay Johnson once he realizes it's overthrown. That's all I'm going to say on this. Watch Deontay Johnson once he realizes it's overthrown. You see him immediately. Now, I'm not saying he's lazy, but you can see how fast he's going to get frustrated. That's all I'm going to say on that. I agree. Mingo has it or he doesn't. He has it, but I just don't know that he wants to be here. I don't know. And what we're gonna find out. This is actually a good point. What we're gonna find out is either when Burks comes back, or we really start going run heavy. What receivers are going to block on this team, right? Because if we're going to go run heavy, deceptive play action, what receivers are going to block, right? And what Shanahan's offense in San Francisco, you have to block or you're not going to play. Shannon Sharp says that a lot, right? When you run that Shanahan offense, you have to block as a receiver or you're not seeing the field, right? And that's why Ayuk was so important to that team. You have to be willing to block. Yes, James, right here, Miles Austin. A guy, if I remember right, he wasn't a glorified receiver, but he busted his butt. Kurt Warner busted his butt. He worked at the grocery store, I think, arena football to the NFL. Had to keep constantly improving. We have guys who they've already made it, right? So do they have to change the ways? No, they don't have to. Yep, right there, right there, right there. Thank you for this, Panthers therapy. Hey, man, I'm glad this is the first live I think we've done in almost a year. I think we did a couple last year during the season, but this is the first one we've done. Probably going to keep doing them an hour after the game. That way I'm not getting on here too high. If we somehow win, I don't want to be too high on that win, the first hour. And if we lose, I want to get some good talking points. So expect the lives about an hour after the games each Sunday because we're not playing on Thursday and we're not playing on Monday. No primetime games, but it is what it is. But appreciate it. Appreciate it. Steve. Yeah, but I mean, what are we looking for though, Dark? I mean, Mingo, he's a great route runner. We know that, but does he want to be here? If someone doesn't want, if you don't want to, I'm going to feel like I'm on nightcap right here. Oh man, if the person you're with, right, if that person or you don't want to be in that relationship, you can't force them to stay, and you're not going to give the effort you did, or you would if you wanted to be in that relationship. And I don't know that Mingo wants to be here. If I'm being honest, I don't know. Cam Newton has 3 picks. Cam's living it up, my man. I love Cam's energy. No, actually, this is interesting. I wish Dave would almost and I don't want Dave to be Cam Newton, right? But I wish Dave would kind of copy Cam's energy where it's like that passive, happy, I'm going to tell you the truth with a very positive kind of demeanor, right? Cam, if you watch his channel, he's not negative. Like he's always got a smile on his face, whether it's good or bad. And I wish Dave would kind of copy that, where he's going to tell you that, you know, it's going to be real, where it's not all positive. You know, we go down 17-0 in the first quarter. Well, we face some adversity. Yeah. Thank you, Dave. You know, we're down 17-0. No, the defense has to step up. The offense can't make mistakes like that. I really wish he would have went to the play calling. You know, I ran this first play, or on the second drive we did this. I was hoping to get them going. Not this whole positive crap, dude. I'm glad you noticed it. I noticed Deontay didn't go for the ball. If he knew, yeah, and you know, where was Jordan Matthews? This goes back to the 20-0 thing. You know, Jordan Matthews isn't going to get a ton of reps if we go down 20-0. Now we're going to have to change. We're going to have to change the whole personnel completely. So we're not going to be able to run a 2 tight ends unless you could. But once you go down 20, 23, 30-0, right at half. Remember, this was just first half. You can't. It's going to be hard to run a 2 tight end look with the running back because remember, you're going to want to keep a running back in there to block, to chip. He's going to be the check down. So 5 linemen plus the running back plus Bryce, that's 7 guys. So now you're going to have to add a tight end. So now you're up to 8 guys. You don't want to add another tight end because then you only get 2 receivers. And now you're going to have to get deep passing concepts. So the tight ends are going to be slower. So now you need your 3 receivers. So now you can only play 1 tight end, right? And so that's the problem they ran into, right? With Matthews or Sanders is it's just not good. And if, oh man, that is something I want to do. I do want to interview players moving forward. If we ever get to that chance, that would be dope. That would be dope. I don't. Mingo will just turn off the camera. He would just end it. It's gonna be a long year at this point, Justin. It's gonna be a long year. The Chargers, I mean, they're kind of struggling with the Raiders, but the Raiders have a good defensive line. So who knows? I mean, how do you guys think that the Panthers are going to do against Minshew? Minshew doesn't have the arm that Carr does, but Minshew is a little bit more mobile, right? So, oh wait, no, we versus the Chargers, so we're going against Herbert. Raiders is later this year. Herbert's got an arm. Did the Panthers go the way of the? Nope. Well said. Cam clapping. Amen. Come on, man. No, I like Cam. I love his positive energy. Yeah, but you got to realize that team that the Panthers had, though, that was stacked on the offense and defense, right? That team. Now, okay, offense was we had a good offensive line, we had good running backs, and you had a good front 7 and a pretty good secondary too, right? So that whole team was just built right. And it's just crazy how a team it's just crazy how a team can just fall off. It's unfortunate. Great channel, bro. Appreciate it, Nathaniel. Appreciate it, my man. Going to be a long process to find us. We don't have time for that. But when you keep switching front office, when you keep switching players in and out, it keeps restarting, right? It's just like a relationship. Every time you talk to a new girl, you restarted it, right? So the same thing here. Cam was negative his first year. I mean, I'd rather Dave be negative at this point. Show me something. I think, Dave went through some struggles in his life, and I think that's why he's such a positive, optimistic guy now. But I think this is where they talk about you have to be able to channel that in and off, right? I'm sorry, on and off. That's what we got to see. No. Steve is not it because I watched Steve in the Super Bowl last year. No. Nope. I guess for offense, maybe. For defense, no. Nope. Matthews and Sanders both have good hands, though. We need to this is 100% true. I think Sanders And Miles too. I'm telling you, Miles is going to fit Dave's offense, but they have to be able to get a lead. But again, if you look at it, we had 45 yards of offense before the last drive of the first half. And you got to wonder, right? It was 30-0. Did we get that last 55 yards of offense on that first drive because the Saints were playing off? So Bryce Young was just hitting everything underneath. That's my guess. We got that 55 yards handed to us. So in reality, we should have only had 50 yards to begin with for the first half. The Saints gave us that last 50 on that last drive because they are like, we're just not going to allow 6 to keep everything in front of you. So realistically, we should have had 60 yards of offense. It's bad. All right. Miserable as of right now. Yep. What do you want to change against the Chargers? We just got to see what the first 15 is going to be, right? We got to see, are they going to set the run to set the, well, not set the run, but they're going to do the run to set the play action, right? The defense, why was there no pressure? No pressure. I'm showing I mean, all the comments I got, remember I did that video where I said all the Bryce Young haters should watch this. Oh, YouTube started recommending that. Woo, man. Comments were lighting me up watching the game. We're cooked either way. At this point, Tim, bring back Plummer. I mean, I don't know. Oh, Ryan's here. We should have not got rid of everyone on defense. Yeah, that defense looked rough. That front seven, which I had a lot of hope in, it looked rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. It definitely looked rough. Who was our best pass blocking running back? I would assume Chuba, to be honest, because Miles is too small. Raheem's definitely too small. This one's hard to say who was supposed to pick up who here. They looked out of sync from the beginning, right? They looked. There was that run or that pass where Miles Sanders had the second or third drive, and they got called back because of Sanders holding, and then they sent the nickel in, and I think that's what you're talking about. Was Sanders supposed to go over there potentially, but it just everything looked bad. Yeah, and I saw this too. I was mixed on this because he went to go high five, I think it was Damian Lewis, right after he threw the pick. Damian Lewis walking to the sideline. Bryce is literally sticking his hand out like this, right? Damian Lewis wanted no part of it. So then he goes to Chuba. They're kind of smiling. I was like, okay, maybe he was like, all right, I saw a glimpse of hope. But maybe that's the whole positive Bryce that I'm not a fan of. But yeah, I saw that too. He goes up to Chuba smiling, like, oh, almost had it. Oh, I need you to get mad. I need you to get frustrated. I need Bryce to see mad. I need to see Bryce mad. Yeah, it's like that toxic ex. That's what it's like right now. It's like that one, and we know what that one thing that just keeps bringing you back. You won't admit it in public, but behind closed doors, it's that one thing that just keeps bringing you back. Bryce is terrible. I mean, as of right now, I can't argue. Bryce is not that guy. I expect that from Ryan all season long. Rock Jones. Keep pounding out. Awesome content, bro, but it's going to be a long week for fans. Yeah, it's going to be bad. I just hope I can find something positive in the film later this week when it comes out. I hope to find something positive. Jewel is terrible. I don't know. He didn't impress me. I'll say that much. But remember week 1, because let's say we beat the Saints. Would you guys be that excited? It'd be hard not to be, given how bad the season was last year, but we'd have to remember to keep a level head, right? Because it's just 1 week. Start Trevin Wallace. I do want to see Trevin more. Oh, man. Falcons lost. This was crazy. I'm not going to lie. I thought the Falcons were going to win. They went out, got the secondary, got Kirk Cousins, who's usually a baller in the regular season. Kirk in the regular season is automatic. Tons of yards. Bijan Robinson, Pitts, Drake London. And they lost? I'm not going to say expected the Panthers to win because I wasn't sure. But I thought the Falcons were going to win. And they went out, they signed the secondary, and all the Falcons' Twitter going crazy. To that one is kind of fun. I'm not going to lie to you. It makes it a little bit easier. I'm not going to lie to you. Miles too small. Yeah, so Miles can't be in there. Okay, so here's the thing with Miles, right? So let's get this straight real quick. When I say Miles can have success, Miles Sanders can have success in this offense, I'm not talking about as an every down back. I'm talking about when we have a lead, we're in the spread, right? Or even really an empty set. So we got him on the outside. That's where I think Miles can do damage, right? Play action, swing him out, a little strong sweep with him out of the backfield. No, if it's a tight game, I don't want Miles in there. I don't. But if we've got the lead, is when I want Miles. There's no pass rush. And Taysom Hill just dominated. But yeah, no pass rush at all. Trevin, yeah, he had a big penalty. Jatavion Sanders had a big penalty. Shaq Thompson had a big penalty. It's like this team. It's like they were playing against what? Who was LSU playing the other day when they lost to USC? Just undisciplined. Well, I have to go back and look at the film. I'll take your word though, Sin. Yeah, everyone's clowning Bryce. I don't know if I can go fishing. You gotta stay patient to go fishing. I don't know about all that now. The only thing I can find positives. Yeah, this only thing I worry about though is on the film is if the receivers were getting open because the DBs. Remember what happened last year? We played the Saints. I want to say it was week 2 Monday night, guys. Week 2. Was it week 2 or week 1 Monday night? We played the Saints and we scored a touchdown with. I want to say Bryce hit Adam Thielen in the corner, but Mingo had a corner route. I want to say it was a corner route, and he was open, but it's only because the Saints were up by like 30 points, right? So, Brandon, I think that's what happened this time is we were up by, or the Saints once again were up by 30, 40 points, so they just let us throw it underneath. I was hyped for this game. It was a total gut punch and completely opposite of anything. Like I said, even in my wildest nightmares, I did not expect this. He's not a blocking back. And I hope we don't run into the same thing of last year because I think last year Frank kept Miles Sanders in last year because they paid him all that money, so it would look real stupid. Remember this, and this is a business when it's all said and done, right? In your investment. So you're not going to pay, you pay your biggest investment, you're not going to not play him, right? You have to play Miles Sanders last year because you paid him all that money. So hopefully Dave figures it out. I'd said Bryce looked decent. He looks beat, right? He looks beat. I was not surprised with Jewel at all. He can't jump at all, no ups. We'll see what happens. Lancelot, great channel, bro. Keep it going. Long off season. Yep. Long season ahead. Amen to that. To watch this game and to have read all these. Hey, man. I'm glad to get all these takes. It gave me a lot to think about this week. We should have kept Frankie. Yeah, I don't disagree. Like this front office, they came in and it's like they wanted to kind of make it their own. And I thought they did a decent job with the front seven. I'm still confused why we didn't touch the secondary. That's what throws me off more than anything. I thought our front seven was actually pretty good last year. Why didn't we just upgrade the secondary? No pass rush. It didn't seem like Double E wanted to blitz at all, right? It didn't seem like we had. I'll have to go back and look, but it didn't seem like we had a lot of blitzes. So, agreed. I just think we need to upgrade the secondary, and we didn't. I don't know what happened there. What do we get? We're not. No. We know we didn't get anything for him. We didn't get anything for Burns. But we got to remember, right? Dave Canales is fairly new to this whole head coaching position. Dan Morgan was under Tepper, and I almost want. Never mind. I don't know. I like the pieces Dan Morgan brought in. He brought in guys that kind of feel like him, right? But here's what I didn't say all off season. I liked all the moves, and I said that I like the front seven. But I hope it's Dan Morgan making the calls, and not somebody behind him, right? Like a little puppet. You got DJ, you got Jadeveon, you got Josie Jewell, you got Ashawn Robinson, right? You got those four guys: DJ, Ashawn, Josie, Jadeveon. Then you go get two kind of backup DBs. What I think the safety from the Bills, right, and Dane Jackson. I might have those flipped. So you get those four playmakers for the front seven. You get two kind of okay guys for the secondary. What I hope Dan realizes is that this isn't how he played 10, 15, 20 years ago. This is a passing first league, right? Kamara is dangerous because he's a dual threat out of the backfield. The Falcons, they're going to pass heavy. Chiefs are going to pass heavy. We got no secondary. We didn't get any really good help in the secondary. Right? That's the only thing that concerns me about this team is, yeah, our front seven stacked. So what? I mean, are we really going to stay in a 3-4 defense against the Chiefs, against the Falcons? We're not, right? So who's going to be out there? You're going to have Mike Jackson, which isn't bad, J.C. Horn, Troy Hill, which isn't the best nickelback, and then what our safeties, Xavier Woods and Nick. I don't love it, if I'm being honest, right? That's our nickel package. And we got to get pressure with that too. I don't know. I know I'm rambling at this point. Curious on your thoughts, but it would be crazy. This team roster might be worse than last season. Oh man, I've thought about it. Who'd we lose? I mean, I won't say that for sure because last season we lost J.C. Horn, we lost Shaq for part of the year, but then again we did lose Loop. As of now, maybe, but I think when it's all said and done, the defense will be better, right? I think Trevin will also make an impact. I don't know. I don't know, my man. This one's rough. Panther Plague, love the channel. Love your channel too, my man. Go sub to him. Any thoughts about players not one? All right. So here's the thing with Bryce. He's got an arm. It's the footwork. All the weak throws from college till now to pro day to training camp. Every weak throw you see, it's because he's throwing the ball like this, and not like I'm telling you. Go look it up. It's on the film. It's because he's throwing it like this. And nobody changed his footwork because it was Bryce Young, right? The Saints are a good team. We all patched together. What's a horrible start. Yeah, that's the thing, Mike. We're all patched, right? So we got Josie to start, and we got Jadeveon, you got Ashawn, and you got DJ who's hurt, and you throw in a couple safeties and nickelback, and yeah, completely agree. We're patched, right? And the Saints have been together for a minute now. Frankie and Burns are the Panthers. Oh yeah, I guess we did lose Brian Burns, but I forgot about that. Burns going to cost a lot. Frankie Louvu made no sense. Yeah, I thought we were kind of even with the Louvu Jewel trade, but I think Dan wanted the guys he wanted, which I'm okay with. But my thing is, we're not going to be able to run a 3-4 defense against most teams. It's just not going to happen. If we do, we're going to get beat. I don't understand that one. That one confuses me a little bit. Appreciate it, Rock. Yeah, I wanted to spice it up. Have a little bit of everything, you know. So I mean, guys, look, right? So in the division, you got the Saints, Derek Carr, pass heavy, Tampa Bay, you know, Godwin, Mike Evans, K. Dotton, Rashad White of the backfield, Baker Mayfield, pass heavy, Atlanta Falcons, Kirk Cousins. They didn't bring it. They didn't pay Kirk Cousins all that money to run the ball, right? So Kirk, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield. And here we are building out our 3-4 defense, which shouldn't even see the field most plays against any of our. That's 6 games, guys. 6 of what, the 17, 18 games are against pass heavy people, right? And then you have the Chiefs, pass heavy, Chargers, pass heavy. You see where I'm going with this? So we build our 3-4 defense. I don't know. Louisville left on his own. I thought I read about that, him going to the Commanders. I just wasn't 100% sure. But if that's the case, another person who didn't want to be here, right? I've seen teams have horrible first game. Yeah, I mean, because there was nothing to really take away from this game. There wasn't anything to take away from this game that was positive, right? Panther play did mention Mike Jackson played good, and he did. Mike Jackson definitely did his thing. Though the Tapper needs to come out with the public. He was wrong. Move on from the little guy. Oh Lord, Ryan's gonna be here all season, guys. He's gonna be here all season. Everything the Panthers are doing currently are confusing. And it's been that way. It's not like it was just this year. It's been that way for the last ever since they got rid of McCaffrey and started bringing in all these random quarterbacks. I think 2 years ago, forgetting the running back's name, he went to the Bears. We had a nice running attack towards the end. I think when Steve Wilkes took over, we had a nice 1-2 punch. But PJ was the quarterback. Now, PJ wasn't the most elite, but we had a nice offense where we really set that play action nicely. And then here comes Frank, a whole new offense. Yep, Foreman. That's right. Yeah. We had a nice 1-2 punch setting up the play action. And then here comes Frank, and then we bring in Sanders, and then we draft Mink. And come on, man. I didn't bring back Jerry. Oh, boy. Foreman. Yep, Foreman was the guy. He was that power back we needed. And that's where I was shocked that this is something we're not talking about either. Dylan Johnson, right? I don't think the Panthers signed him, but let me know, guys. I don't think the Panthers put him on the practice squad. Let me know if I'm wrong on that, but I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I don't see anything about him. Okay, so Dylan Johnson did get signed to the practice squad. Maybe they bring back Dylan to the starting squad, and that's where Dave sets up that 1-2 punch until Brooks comes back, because Miles isn't it. I don't think Chuba's it to a point. I'd say to give Dylan Johnson a point. I give him a chance. He played with some fire in that preseason game. Give him a chance, man. I'm interested in what Clowney says after the game. Yeah, I mean, we have people who are going to get mad on defense. I think Josie's going to get mad on defense. I think Clowney, I think Shaq will get mad on defense. Who's going to get mad on offense? Who's going to light a fire under people's butt, right? That's what I want to know on offense. First quarter, I think Clowney came to Carolina to get his ass kicked. Oop. Can't be cussing. But I don't think Clowney came to get his butt kicked, right? At this point, I agree with you. Season going to be. I don't back comeback. I like to believe this too. I think your first play, interception, third drive, you're down by 17. Half the playbook's gone. You're going against the Saints. The Saints know Bryce Young. They already played him twice, right? That's something to remember too. Some of these teams did have to play against quarterbacks. Let let me rephrase this real quick. This is something to take into account too, guys. I know I'm kind of jumping here and there and there. The Saints already played Bryce Young twice. They already know Bryce Young's tendencies, right? They already know Mingo. They played him twice. Thielen, they've played him twice. Chuba, Miles, they've already played them all twice. The only one new was Deontay Johnson. They already knew what to do against Deontay. So this is interesting right here because remember, the Saints know all of Bryce Young's tendencies. So who was making more this year, Canales or Frank Reich? What's his leftover? At this point, I couldn't tell you for sure. Who is going to step up and rally this team? At this point, I don't know. Bryce has to get unlocked, and we've got to see some type of killer instinct from him. We get it. We got it. Whew, man, getting a little worn out over here, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you, but no, I mean, we got to see a leader. Somebody's got to step up. Nah, bro, he sucks. I mean, I can't. What I think he went 13 for 30. It just, I want to say it was 13 for 30. It was just not good. We definitely a patchwork team, and hopefully by week 4 we start functioning. Yeah, like I said, when Jonathan Brooks comes back, it should be about week 4, week 5, or maybe I don't know. I mean, let me know. Do you guys want to see Brooks back, or do you just save him for next season at this point? I mean, do we bring Brooks back? I don't know. Jerry Richardson, he could scare the team stuff. Oh, Lord. I saw near Bryce Young look poised in the pocket one time. Yeah, I mean, I watched the game and I didn't see it. And it's hard when you throw a pick and then, the second drive, run, pass, and then he overthrows. And he gets the ball again. They're down 17-0. So, Bryson Corbett is not good. Oscar Corbett's not calling out blitz on the O-line one, but I mean, that's another thing that people don't account for when we look at the Chiefs. They talk about Mahomes or Kelsey, but that O-line with Creed Humphrey and everybody, Peyton and Indy, Tom Brady in New England, they all had great O-lines. They didn't win with I don't know a team that has gone far consistently with a bad O-line, right? And that's what I said about the O-line is it's going to take time for them to mesh. It just is. But we got to realize that these teams had good, when the Panthers were good, they had a good O-line. And so it's going to take time for these to really mesh. Say Brooks for next season. I mean, maybe at this point, I mean, we'll see what happens. Week 4. I mean, who are we playing week 4? That's the question. Who do we play? We got the Chargers, Raiders. Oh boy! All right, let me know in the comments. All right, I'm gonna read out until week 5 the record predictions. Chargers next week, at Raiders, Bengals, and then at Bears. So Chargers, Raiders, Bengals, Bears. Are we winning any of those games? You got Justin Herbert, Minshew, Burrow, and Caleb Williams, and then Kirk Cousins. Oh boy, we're gonna be tested. And then once again, all passing teams, and yet we build out the 3-4 for what? Bryce would just peel out and look uncomfortable. Yeah, and now this comes down to remember. So it's hard to see because of the camera angle. We can't see if the receivers are getting separation or not. Right? That's something we have to look at when the film comes out. Center is your number 1 player on the O-line, and Corbett is not it. I mean, that seems to be the common thing. There was one missed block by Miles Sanders, and the rest were just, yeah, it's definitely blame to go around for sure. Bengals. Nope, we have the highest paid O-line, ranked the 5th best. Nope, not hearing it. Oh boy. The O-line. There's no hope. LOL. Not winning any of those. Losing them all after today. Not winning. Losing it all. 0-4. Cincinnati. Yeah, Cincinnati. Man. Oh man. The whole Yeah, the whole team captain thing, I was a little confused about myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. How Bryce Young got, I don't know. I mean, I guess I know how Bryce Young got it, but I don't know. LOL, maybe 2 wins. I mean, I don't. All right, let's finish. Can you let me see if you guys can see this? Let's see if I drop. I think you guys can see this. Let me see if I drop my brightness real quick. Do we get a win on any of these? Right. So we got Raiders, Bengals, Bears, Falcons, Washington, Denver, Saints, Giants, Chiefs. Chiefs. This is after the bye week. I don't know that we win after the bye week. We go Chiefs, Bucks, Philly, Dallas, Arizona, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. That's week 11's the bye. Chiefs to the Bucks to Philly to Dallas to Arizona, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. That's oh boy. Williams is not good. Yeah, and Bill Bel I actually tweeted this a couple of days ago. Bill Belichick called everybody out, right? Everybody hyping up Caleb Williams. I thought he looked good to be honest, but Bill Belichick said, nah. He had some good highlights, but that's about it. We need to win next week against LA. 100%. And if we don't win, we need to at least be close. Again, he looks lost. You know, he looks lost. Nate, yeah, I mean, that's what I talked about. The first play being a play action just wasn't it. I didn't. We need to go back to a 4-3 defense. We don't have the players to run a 3-4 defense, and all the teams have to do is run the ball against us, and we suck. Yeah, I mean, pretty much at this point, I don't. Washington and Giant. Yeah, Washington. I mean, they've got talent, but they got rid of Dotson, I think, but they've definitely got talent. And Giants, yeah, they look rough. We're in the same boat as them. I think we have a better offensive line, and we're still look worse than the Giants. Cincinnati, if Chase is out, I agree with that. Well, maybe I don't know. I'm really scared to see what happens when we play the Chiefs or the Cowboys. I think if we play the Chiefs, it's so late in the season that Andy Reid is going to use it as like a game to rest the starters because I think we don't play them until like what week 12. I think it's so. This is the crazy part, right? Yeah, we go to Germany November 10th. Then we have a bye week. We play the Chiefs November 24th. Andy Reid will probably use that as a bye week for the Chiefs. He'll probably use that to give them a break. So that's my guess. 0-18. If we and now we'll save this question for next. I don't want anyone to answer it yet. But if we were to go 0-18, let's say we lose next week, do we get rid of everybody? And I say everybody, I mean I don't want to go into that. I mean, we're already almost 2 hours in. I don't go into that right now. But that's if we don't win next week, that's where we're gonna start off probably. If we were to not win a game hypothetically. And we're only going to bring that up if it's not close next. If it's close next week, we won't bring it up. But Raiders are winnable because I don't even love Minshew, to be honest. I liked AOC more. Chargers, I mean, yeah, they got rid of Eckler, Mike, Keenan Allen, Giants. Atlanta, I'm going to be honest, I didn't think they were winnable at the beginning, but now maybe Tampa. What? I just worry about our secondary. Washington, Chicago, Denver. I mean, yeah, the last 3 are definitely winnable. The first, for the most part, I think you're right, though. I think they're winnable, but man, I was looking for the games more like Christmas Packers game. Yeah, the offense never got going. But I will say this: Dave was trying to get Bryce going. Just, I think you got to build his confidence up. I think that's why you had to play him in preseason. And that's why I'm shocked, as Dave is such a positive, optimistic person. He knows what Bryce went through last year, so you got to get him. To me, in preseason, get his hopes high and get his confidence going. He had one drive. That was it. So he had one drive than all those other bad games last year. Steve. He did have the Panthers playing. He did. I just don't love him as as the Niners or as the defensive coordinator. No, Thomas, we talked about this earlier, and I was mixed on my thoughts on this because I was like, okay, is he smiling because he was like, we almost had it and it was just like a confidence thing, or if it wasn't that, I don't know. But yeah, he was definitely up to Chuba. Oh, we almost had it. I don't know. We'll talk about this more next week. I was watching your video and I was like, okay, no, I mean, trust me, I'm still getting comments on those videos right now as we speak. Yeah, not fun. It's not fun. If the defense keeps looking bad and the offense somehow balls out the rest of the year, then I'd fire the whole defensive staff. I'm not really worried about the defense, to be honest. I mean, the whole defense is new, whether it's Clowney, Josie, Ashawn. I'm not worried about them quite, to be honest. What are your updated separate? Let me get one more weekend because, like I said before, the first drive was what? A pick. Second drive was 2 runs and incompletion. Third drive, it's already 17-0. So then the defense can completely change how they're going to play. Let's go one more week and just remind me next week, and I'll give you an updated one. Are we in a rebuilding or retooling mode? I mean, they keep making moves, but it's more for the bottom of the roster, which is interesting because I feel like we don't have a complete team in general, yet we still somehow keep changing the bottom of the roster. I don't know. I think part of it is a rebuilding, and I think they think we're set in the front 7, but I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, and it makes me wonder if Tepper doesn't have like a little friend or something. I won't say any names, obviously, but who's also making calls on who we should sign. That's one of my guesses. Yes, Horn is supposed to be a shutdown corner, but like they say, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? And if you're talking about let me talk about the first play, right? That touchdown. He was supposed to have a safety help over the top, right? And so you could tell he's kind of playing outside. He had help over the top. The safety bites down on the deep end, the dig right underneath, and then bang, that post is open. So if that's what let me know in the comments if that's what you're talking about. You can tell the way he's playing it, he thinks he's got help over the top. Otherwise, he would have been head up on him, and I promise you there would not have been that much separation. Still, there was too much separation, but I promise you that's what happened there. I have not checked yet. I have not checked. This is what I want to see, Zach. I mean, I agree with you right here. Give me something. Give me another vet corner. Give me something. Stop. What it reminds me of, I meant to mention this in a video, is we keep bringing in guys. It's like it's like you don't want to get a new tire, so you keep getting a dummy tire and it keeps going flat, right? Or you buy a bum tire. We've all done this, or I think some of us have. We kind of buy an off tire, right? That's cheap. And you keep buying this stuff and it keeps going out or it keeps going flat. Eventually, you got to spend money and just get a tire. That way, you don't have to keep paying for the flat, right? So that's what the Panthers keep trying to do. They keep trying to just basically fix the leak just for now, and hope it somehow turns into something magical, right? Right. It's like a bunch of the penny stocks. They keep trying to throw their little pennies into one of these guys to hopefully pan out. It's not working. They got to get help. They got to spend a little bit of money, drop the penny stocks, and let's spend some money. All right, I want to check on this, Lucas. I'll probably do a video over this tonight and let you guys know my thoughts on that. This is probably going to wrap it up. We're pushing about 2 hours. If you guys have any more questions, I'll wrap those up real quick. But like I said, I think an hour after the game, we're going to go live. So just remember that. That way I don't be too high if we win or too low if we lose. I think we can win next week, but I can't see what happened this week again. Now, if this happens again, we may not go. Now, we're going to go live, but we're going to. Corbett said after a loss like that, you got to take a long look. Yeah, I mean, You got to take accountability because what 47-10 week 1 against the Saints. Come on, man. The division rival. To me, and if I'm a Saints fan, I'm not getting too high on this because I mean, you beat the Panthers, right? I mean, we looked awful. So maybe Saints get too high headed and they lose week 2. I'd be happy with that. Appreciate it, Ryan. I'm sure you'll be back in. Appreciate it. Dark, keep it up. Appreciate it, my man. Catch you later. Dave threw around money like it was nothing building this new team. So why is he skimp? That's what I'm saying is, yeah, that I agree. I know what you mean, Tepper. Because he's playing the long game, trying to get the DBs. So like, okay, the DBs haven't been. This is what a lot of rich owners do, no matter what business it is, right? They understand, right? How do I want to phrase this? It's like I can't think of the word. It's like market demand, right? So it's like the DBs don't have a job right now, and they know if they want to get signed, they have to take somebody's. I'm saying this completely wrong. Supply and demand, right? So there's a lot of DBs, but there's not that much demand. So what happens is the supply has to be lowered, right? That way they get picked, and that's what Tepper's banking on is that whole supply and demand type of thing. He's hoping that the DBs drop their price because the demand isn't there for them. Instead of just signing one, that's what he's banking on. We gave the defense too many freebies. Yeah, we did. Just like last year. Hurting. Amen to that. NFL from Canada. I appreciate it, Bob. Enjoyed listening in. Keep it up. Go Panthers. Week 2 against the Chargers. Is that a 1-3 game? What game is that going to be? There's another noon 1 o'clock game. So, man, oh man. All right, Nate, stay positive. Panthers Nation will eventually turn the corner. Nowhere to go. I hope that's true. I hope there's nowhere to go but up from here. So that's going to wrap it up. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I will have a video tonight talking more about press conference, what Dave said, what Bryce said, and probably go from there. So take it easy, guys. Catch you on the next one. Stay tuned. And those predictions, let me know how you guys think of those.